If this coronavirus crisis has taught us anything, it's how both precious and delicate life really is. The most basic commodities and the most precious of all, our freedom, has been curtailed. No longer will we take a hug from a loved one for granted, a meal in our favourite restaurant, a drink in a bar, a concert, sporting event, or even a trip to the local shop without the need to wear protective clothing. For our lives have been turned upside down as COVID-19, accompanied by a mass hysteria, has swept so ferociously across the globe, leaving people gripped by fear, living in panic, confusion, grief, and an unprecedented disruption in its wake. And it's a silent and faceless killer. We don't have a bad guy to hunt down or hit, just an image of a rotating spiky ball, a menacing looking microbe. But in the midst of it all, we've seen the beauty and the strength of humanity, as hardship has brought communities and people together for the good, united by a common enemy. For so long in Ireland, we've been divided by our politics and beliefs, green versus orange. But this enemy, we're constantly being told, knows no borders, knows no religion. It simply doesn't discriminate. Old enemies united against an invisible one. St. Patrick's Day parade and the 12th of July demonstrations all cancelled in light of the ongoing public health crisis. Summer's the time for weddings and celebrations, but our most sacred events have been cancelled, postponed, as young love must wait in the wings. It now truly is, and will remain for now, the Maiden city. Derry's walled city has attracted so many visitors from around the world through the years, but now its residents are locked in fear behind their own four walls, besieged by a pandemic and living in the hope that our self-isolation can make a difference, stop the spread of this invisible illness, which has changed our lives, perhaps forever. Almost overnight, life came to a screeching halt. The hustle and bustle of the busy city centre is replaced by an eerie silence which has descended over the streets of Derry and transformed it into a ghost town. A vibrant city suddenly awoke to a complete standstill. The sound was abruptly turned down. It's not so long ago since the streets of this historic city were paved with thousands of revellers who came to soak up the atmosphere at the world-famous Halloween Carnival, or the Clipper Festival on the banks of the Foy, an ever-growing jazz festival, large-scale social events which seemed like a distant memory. Thousands of partygoers had crossed the iconic Peace Bridge on their way to the MTV festival, and one big weekend in Everton Square. Those were happy days in so many, many ways, in the town I love so well, as Phil Coulter so eloquently put it. Now the Guildhall clock chimes with our society's fears. The 2013 capital of culture, which relies so heavily on tourism, retail and the hospitality industry, and has done so much to transform its image over the years, has shut down its museums, its shops and its hotels, its lifeblood. This beautiful city has survived the siege, the bombings and the shootings of the Troubles, and now it must build itself back up once more. COVID-19 has left its own legacy and will have a profound impact on local businesses and the people of our city. But one thing Derry people possess is resilience and fortitude. It's hard to get your head around such a seismic shift in our lives. It's a paradigm shift of epic proportions. The ghost killer from Wuhan seems so remote to us, so far from home, but suddenly it's among us, meddling with our lives and the health of loved ones. We're moving around the planet in greater numbers than ever before, and at an unprecedented speed, and disease and pandemics are only a plane journey away. For now, planes are grounded, borders are closed, and yet death tolls are rising daily.
The UK, so there's Italy showing...
We sat up, took notice of the warnings from our political leaders who were telling us to lock down and adhere to social distancing rules, restricting us to our homes.
Reminding us to stay indoors.
We begin to live by the new government-imposed restraints, afraid to venture out as a cough or a sneeze now raises suspicions. It's a new world order. Economic chaos will ensue. People laid off in lockdown, pay cuts and financial meltdown. People are stockpiling food, panic buying essentials, and the shelves are empty, not a bog roll or a loaf of bread in sight. One by one, we queue at the door of the supermarket, like lambs to the slaughter. We become suspicious of our neighbours. Are we too close? Are we allowed out? We've been battling boredom, and what if Wi-Fi internet was the next thing to shut down? How would you cope? The biggest enemy now is not the virus, it's become our mental health, and keeping in touch on social media, watching Netflix and playing game consoles has been keeping people entertained. We've been homeschooling our children, and some of us are attempting to keep our minds and bodies active with online gym workouts, keeping cabin fever at bay. But as we lock ourselves away in the safety of our own homes, think of those who have sacrificed their home comforts and who have forced themselves away from their loved ones to be placed on the front line in the battle against the virus. The NHS and healthcare workers are on the front line of this war. They're the only line in our fight against the tsunami that is COVID-19. Our NHS workers, delivery drivers, supermarket staff, and all those who are ultimately risking their lives to keep us safe and supplied, we are so very grateful for their bravery and their duty of care. It's important to find goodness and purpose in the face of tragedy and adversity. The virus may have taken our freedom, but freedom is nothing else but a chance to be better, to quote the French writer Albert Camus. Life has slowed down, allowed us to think about what really matters and reflect on how we live our lives. It's a time for family, a time for silence, and for solemn reflection. The defining legacy of most disease outbreaks is their lack of legacy, but surely the world must take action and preventative measures to ensure the next time we're not hit so hard and left as helpless as we are now. For now we must stick together and stay apart, and as society eventually repairs itself, life will begin again, and we will once again show how resolute the human spirit and the people of Derry really are.